There we go. I think I'm live. So, hey everybody. Dr. Ricky T here. I'm going to just go over to Instagram and go live there as well. Give me a moment. And let's see if we're... Okay. It's Wednesday, April 9th. And I'm going to double check with our team to make sure we're good to go. Let me go my phone on so I can sort of see. Jocelyn just texts me when things are going well, okay, to make sure it's coming. So let me get right to it. Wednesday, everybody, April 9th. So many things I want to talk about today, but I gotta handle something here on my screen. Sorry, tech moment. When you're kind of your own, there you go. Okay, so went for my morning walk this morning. By the way, very cash today. Nike, just do it, right? So I'm playing off of that metaphor a little bit today. And just a little update. We had our clients from around the world come join us this last week in Palm Springs. I won't go into the details too much, but they created miracles. They actually created miracles. And I won't go through what we did together, but in my leadership development mastermind and helping them with their work and their businesses and their philosophies and their ideology and getting all that into the world more, because my game is having more people experience more of you, because when people experience more of you, then they'll come towards you, buy you, that whole concept, right? And this morning, in the last couple of days, as you know, the world is, I am not going to get political, but certainly there's a lot going down, and lots of things are happening, and there's a whole cadre of people who are personally affected by it immediately. Some people not affected by it at all. Like it's people have their own experiences, right? And yet in my world, a lot of what's happening is a lot of W words. So I literally, as my walk this morning, I was like, okay, what are the W words that I'm hearing? So one of them is worry. There's a lot of worry, right? There's like a worry, what's going to happen, right? The W word of worry is happening. And what do we do about that? How do you be with that? How do you dance with that? How do you, right? Because of course worry comes from a projection into the future of what's going to happen, right? And we don't know exactly what's going to happen. You all know this. I'm singing to the choir or preaching to the choir of don't know exactly what's going to happen. But of course, in our own consciousness and our own minds, we can decide how we want to respond to any of this, right? My life might change, circumstances might change, in my outside world, and I always want to lean into the core philosophy that I have, that creativity is the way through. Creativity is the way through this, right? So other W words, by the way, are to be in wonder, this word wonderful, right? To be full of wonder, because when you're in a state of wonder, right, it's like what can I do? What can I create? What's going to happen? How do I? We were chatting. One of our clients this morning, I was chatting with him around it's time to pivot, not to panic. Right? These are phrases. These are lovely bumper sticker phrases. But what does it mean for your daily life, right? Because I do believe in the concept that creativity is the path to figuring things out. I need to pivot. I was thinking about, I'm an Apple fan. I've been following Steve Jobs. Of course, he's not been around for many years, but that level of creativity and that level of daring to put your thing into the world at that level, became a superpower company, and whether you like them or not. But I was thinking about the CEO of Apple this week. Like, what is he doing? Because sometimes I like to lean into what are they? Tim Cook, right? Apple, all kinds of stuff going to go down there in terms of pivot and where they build the iPhones. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't actually know what's going to happen. But I'm fascinated, like if I could be a fly on the wall with him and like, okay, because he can't sort of go to the couch and just worry, right? He's in his leadership mode. He is like, we gotta figure this out. We're gonna reach out. who knows, right? His strategies are coming through, his creativity is coming through, he's meeting with his team, and of course, it's something probably new is going to be birthed out of it, right? Out of the chaos, out of the out of the right out of this, out of the friction comes new things, right? Not going to get political here. There's a lot of policies that are going on that I could go down the path, and I'm not going to be talking about policies here. What I'm always fascinated by is the leadership, the personal development, the leadership element of this for ourselves as we go through what's going on. So other W words to consider. There's worry, there's wonder, there's I thought of a couple of others. Now I'm forgetting them. Worry, wonder, be wary. Be wary. There's I should have done a little chat GPT on all these words, because I realize there's probably many more. But I think the big ones, right, are this worry and this wonder. To be in a state of wonder versus to be in a state of worry. And I think, many of you know this concept is, worry comes from I have what I have and I want to make sure I can keep it. And I don't know if I can keep what I have. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know where my business is going to go. However, I do know I have creativity with my business. I do know I have creative options inside my work in the world. And I'm going to figure it out. I've been figuring it out since I was 12. I've been working since I was 12. I'm 66 years old. So I lean into my history of figuring it out, right? And I'm not worried. By the way, I know maybe I'm portraying a little bit that I am, but I'm hearing a lot of people come at me, clients and people that I know who are in a state of, right? And I think the thing I want to speak to then is what has us be resilient in the midst of this. That word resiliency is used a lot in the leadership development space. So what does it mean to be resilient in the midst of quote unquote what's going on, right? And what is your version of remaining resilient? Do you need to meditate? Do you need to slow it down? Do you need to ask for help? Do you need to take better care of yourself? One of the things that I notice when the going gets tough a bit, and by the way, it's not tough. I want to be careful. One of the things I'm always reminded of is when I wake up in my day and I go for a walk, I go, okay, I'm okay. Here's my feet. I'm on the sidewalk. There's the sun is out. I'm very grounded in the, be where you are now. That's one of the things that has me remain resilient is be where you are now, right? It's classic. It's the power of now, Eckhart Tolle. Just be where you are now. And then, of course, be grateful in the now, with the now, which is one of the ways I remain resilient when it feels chaotic and kind of messy, right? Because we're human beings. We have messy moments in our personal lives, then we have messy lives in our business lives, and we have messy situations on a global level. I mean, it's all interconnected, right? It's all interconnected. So it's not about head in the sand. I'm not going to be aware of what's going on, but how do I want to be with what's going on, right? And to be really conscious of your own, what has me recovered to my creative self. Right, that's the big existential question, or the big inquiry, right? What has me recovered to my creative self? And I wrote that down as a question last night to myself and to my clients, and I might even do a blog post about it in my newsletter on Sunday.net. I don't know yet, but what has me remain or recover to my creative self? And I'll go down some of the things I do. Maybe I'll offer, I found at last everything is well. One doesn't have to give reasons for any feelings to come up. Yeah, beautifully said, Christy. Good morning, Christy. Nice to see you here. Everything is well, right? Doesn't have to give a reason for the feelings that come up. Beautifully said. So, again, this is a I have my coaching hat on, my Nike coaching hat on. What is it for you if you're listening right now, to recover back to your creative self. And one of the things that what I get excited about when I feel chaotic and sort of out of sorts is I take super good care of myself. I start to eat exceptionally well. Like now I'm going back to the gym, and I'm having hour and a half to 2 hour experiences of working out every day, right? There's the running part, and then there's the workout part, and there's the lifting part, and like it's a whole, right? And I'm beautifully have the time in my day. I usually do at the end of the day after working and after being with clients all day, right? I have the time and I make the time. And so this self-care thing goes up. And of course, what comes out of that is I feel way better. I'm eating better. I'm running. My heart, the whole self-care thing goes through the roof. And of course, I'm always reminded of why don't I do that all the time? But sometimes a thing comes along and says, I need to go to the next level of this, right? So that's one thing I notice I do. The other thing I do is, certainly in terms of my client life, I reach out to them even more. I come up with ideas for them to do and be even more. Like I'll throw an extra class online. Because my creativity needs a home, and I think that's true for all of you. Your creativity needs a home. In my particular case of my work life, is when my creativity finds a home, it's a new workshop, it's a new concept, it's a new idea, it's a book chapter that's coming out, because I'm in the personal growth and leadership development space. I just that can't help it. That's my thing. So when I sort of feel that, like, I kind of turn it around and go, yay, what am I going to create from this? And I'll speak something. I'll create some copy for a free class to put into the world. I'll reach out to a friend and let's do a class together, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Because that part of me that goes, there's an opportunity here, right? There's something that's going on inside of me that I want to be a voice of for other people, whether they like it or not, like whether you like what I'm saying right now or not. But that puts me back into a resilient, creative space, right? The other thing I do is read. I love reading. Like I'm reading books all the time. When I'm rereading, by the way, The War of Art. I recommend it highly. Break through blocks and win your inner creative battles. This is a fabulous little soundbitey book, right? It's that kind of book, little sound bites. Stephen Pressfield, brilliant mic droppy writer. Those mic droppy sentences or mic droppy paragraphs, right? Love to sort of be reminded of the truth of who I am through books like this, right? So that's another thing I do to sort of remind me who I am in the matter and remind me that I am a creative genius in the midst of all this. Whether my creative geniusness gets expressed or whether anybody else likes it, that's not the job. My job is to express, right? So with that said, since I talked about him, let me just read something that I thought was really interesting this morning. I just opened up to a page, and the title of this particular one is Resistance and Love. Resistance and Love. It's really short. Promise won't be long. Resistance is directly proportional to love. Resistance is directly proportional to love. If you're feeling massive resistance, capital R, the good news is it means there's tremendous love there too. I'm going to say that again. If you're feeling massive resistance, the good news is it means there's tremendous love there too. If you didn't love the project, or I'm going to add, or the work that is terrifying you, if you didn't love the project that is terrifying you, you wouldn't feel anything, right? So this is something we know, but I love that he reminded me of this morning. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. The more resistance you experience, the more important your unmanifested art/project/enterprise/work in the world is to you. The more resistance you experience, the more important your unmanifested project or art or business or enterprise or the thing you want to put into the world, the more it means to you. and the more gratification you will feel when you finally act upon it. The more gratification you will feel when you finally act upon it, right? So recommend this highly. It's one of those books that it's like, this man had sort of downloads of insight, and he kind of put them into a book. And what I love about a book like this is it's not it's not long chapters. It's soundbitey, right? Which, just as a tip, I'm creating my own soundbitey book, which is coming. So just not a tip. I'm just giving you a little update because there's a next book in me. I can feel it, right? So there you go. Happy Wednesday. Related to one of the things that I believe in that puts me in a more creative, resilient state, if you will, is reaching out to other people. People that I admire, people that I do good work in the world, people who are in my space, leadership development people, life coachy people, spiritual coaches, make a difference people, right? Those people who are, right? Or, by the way, I could even reach out to a local agency, or a local company, like a coffee shop. So, this reach out and the concept I want to obviously underline here very quickly is to collaborate. Like, how do I collaborate with them? Like, I've been telling my clients, get in the car and you want to do a workshop for people, or you want to do more life coachy, go to a local coffee shop and ask them, hey, can I set up a little booth in the coffee shop? The coach is in. It's very peanuts, right? Remember when Lucy was like, the therapist was in, and just get radical and like set up a little booth and sit at the coffee shop, and people walk in and you do a little life coachy for 20 minutes, have a cup of coffee. I mean, that's a collaborative, because there are places and spaces that we can show up in to do our magical work in the world, right? So this collaboration thing is what I want to underline. So with that said, one of the people I admire, so many people in the space, I could go down the list. I've worked with, had the opportunity to work with Elizabeth Gilbert, Eat, Pray, Love, big magic author. Collaborated with her a number of years ago at an event, which was amazing. We got to be on the stage together. We both coached people from the stage. It was sort of like, it took, those moments where you pinch me, you're like, oh my God, I'm on the stage with Elizabeth Gilbert, and we're both coaching. We did sort of spot coaching with about 100 people in the room. Not everybody got to talk, but it was go to the mic and, what's going on with your creativity, what's going on with your life, and we worked it. It was an amazing experience, right? Let me breathe. So that collaboration thing. So with that said, another person who I admire deeply is Randy Spelling. Randy Spelling is in the coaching space, the personal development space, has a great podcast. I'm not going to do a big commercial about him here, but Randy Spelling, some of you know the name, Spelling Entertainment. His dad was Aaron Spelling, one of the most famous and successful TV producers in the 70s and 80s, early 90s, I think, as well, right? So I reached out to Randy. Doesn't matter how I did this. I just reached out to him. Let's do a class together. And we said, what do you want to talk about? I said, well, let's talk about resiliency. Let's talk about staying in the game. Right? And so we're doing a class tomorrow. It's free. Some of you want to do I do these pop-up training class. I call them pop-up classes. They're just like boop, put them into the space, right? They're Zoom oriented. Jocelyn has just put in the chat here, in all the platforms, the way to register, right? It's free. We're going to talk about resiliency. We're going to work with people individually a bit. He's a brilliant coach. He has spoken at a couple of events of mine, and I reach out to him as a friend, and when I'm kind of stuck or twisted or doing my inner life thing that needs help, he's one of my go-to people, right? I have many go-to people, but he's high on my list. He's always available to kind of chat with me. So we've known each other for years. He's got an amazing story. We're not, you'll hear a little bit of it tomorrow. He was on a soap opera and on a TV show, and then sort of crashed and burned, and then found his way back out, and now is in the coachy personal development space and doing wildly successful, right? and doing podcasts and that whole thing. So anyway, he and I are doing a class tomorrow. It's Thursday, April 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. There's the link to register. I'd love to have you there. We're going to talk about resiliency and staying in the game and a little bit what we talked about today. We're going to make it, very, very applicable. Like, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about your inside life, about being resilient, and of course, things to do in the physical world, right? So there's an inner life and an outer life context to this conversation we're going to have tomorrow. When I jumped onto Instagram this morning, he's beautiful at posting. He posts a lot, right? And I'm always inspired by what he posts. So here's what he wrote this morning. That's actually probably 18 hours ago, so I'm just seeing it this morning. Here's his post, and I'm just going to read it. You don't have to rush your way out of the hard parts. They're shaping who you're becoming. I love that line. I love that phrase. You don't have to rush your way out of the hard parts. They're shaping who you're becoming. So just wanted to offer a Randy Spelling quote here this morning. He and I are doing a class together, a free class, which leads me to the other thing I want to chat about, and I'll let you know what I'm up to. You guys know I'm up to lots of different things. We have a year-long program that we're working with people called Produce You. That's going swimmingly. People from around the globe doing their good work in the world, getting help with it, going deeper with their clients. All the stuff in terms of leadership and personal growth. And then there's something that I'm also now offering at the end of April 24 and April 25. This is something called the Performance Lab. Here's a little flyer, right? This training, a couple days, is in the land of you, the performer. Now I know that term can really trigger, I'm not a performer, I don't want to perform, I don't want to be performative. However, people do buy and want to experience more of you, and I really mean that. It's like when you show up in the world, whether that's in front of a room or a one-on-one call, when you do your thing from the power you are and the energy you are and the authenticity that you are, right? So we're going to uncork that a bit for 2 days, make it very practical and applicable. And one of the things we're going to talk about is being how to amplify your entertainment ability. How to be more I know that word can really trigger. I'm not an entertainer, right? However, you are an engager. So we're going to play with how to be more engaging. Right? Zoom calls, one-on-one calls, front of rooms, in your trainings. I just helped one of our clients is doing this leadership development program with a team, right? And one of the things I was reminding her this week is, so I know there's the deep work, and I know it's right, but you actually have to bring more lightness of being to this conversation. You need to entertain them a little bit. Here's a video I think you should show to kind of lighten the load. And it was a home run. She literally just let me know in a few moments ago with a video, the success of the entertainment side as well as the education side. So we're gonna play with this term. Some of you have heard it, becoming a better edutainer. And then we're also going to talk a lot about how to create an interactive experience. Right now, this is not an interactive experience. I know this is the only way to interact is to comment. And you're welcome to do that, of course. And if you comment, I'll respond. If you have a question, I'll respond. But I'm a fan of the interactive. When people come on a Zoom call, they're on camera. Their microphones are on. When you're in a room, I have microphones in a room, right? So I'm not a fan of just the keynote or just the talk at. I love the interactive part. So we're gonna play with that a lot. But the key word I also want to introduce you to this program, which I think is a really interesting word, when I designed this and when I came up with this performance lab, the word I came up with is luminosity. Luminosity. Now, it's a little bit maybe in the woo space, but luminosity is the energy, and lumens is light, right? And I love that term. What is having you discover, reveal, understand your luminosity. Isn't that an interesting concept? What does that even look like? Right? So we're gonna talk about that. Have you experienced that? Have you understand that? And see where you not, have you understand where do you shut down, what goes on. I don't want anybody to see that part of me. All that stuff we're going to uncork, because again, my core philosophy is the more people experience, the more of you, and through you, you will attract your right people. Whatever space you're in, whether you're in the leadership development space, whether you're in the health space, whether you're in the, whatever space you're in with your good work in the world, the more you reveal and share and be the light of what's possible. Y'all have heard that term before. It only can attract. It only can attract. So that's a lot of words, but there's, I'm not going to go through it now, but there's, 7 different components we're going to play with here at this event. 2 days, $19 ticket. Go grab, or $17 ticket, excuse me. Go grab it. It's all on Zoom. Do it from your home, right? And the other thing for those of you that are, in a space like this, or do types of workshops, or want to do more workshops like that, you're going to see, oh my God, what's my version of what he's doing? Because I'm doing this from my home. Right? I used to go to a TV studio. It cost me $30,000. Now I do it from my house. Right? So it's not hard. There's some tech involved, but I want to offer you all this idea. It's like, what is my version of what he's doing? Because I want to support you to be seen by more people, be heard by more people, to then, of course, want to join whatever it is you're offering them, right? Whether it's one-on-one coaching, a group training, a leadership development program, a take care of yourself better program, whatever that is. But I'll leave you with this high-level thought. If you're in my space, I said this to my clients this last week, our clients, I shouldn't say our clients. We're all in the better business. We're all in the better business. Whether you help people build better businesses, whether you help them build better bodies, whether you help them have better mindset, whether you help them have better relationships, just notice we're all in the better business, right? Right. So when you kind of go, that's the meta view. Like, I'm in the better business. I'm going to help you have better fill in the blank, right? And then people go, I want that. And our job is to be effervescent, and thank you for that word, by the way, Christy. I just borrowed your word. Our job is to be effervescent with it, and speak to the possibility of it, right? And then, of course, help sometimes with the strategy of it. But your effervescence, and again, thank you for that word, Christy, is the game, right? Is because what I do in the world has already been done in the world by 1,000 people, right? Nothing's new. You've heard this concept. Nothing's new. And if you need an example of that, of a person who has brought effervescence and her effervescence to the world, is Mel Robbins. Whether you like her concept or not, whether you bought her book or not, but all of a sudden, whoosh, right? She's everywhere, right? And her effervescence and her showing up, and the way she bees in the interviews, the way she talks on stages, is what we're responding to. The content is good, right? The latest content. The concept is interesting. But her ability to breathe life into the content is the part that we're going to talk about a lot in the performance lab. So, all right, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Take big, deep breaths. Remember, be in wonder. A wonderful life means you're full of wonder, right? So you are living a wonderful life if you be in wonder about life. Okay? So thanks for listening. Hope this served. You can text me. You can, what I mean by that is you can direct message me. You know how to find me. I'm on all the platforms. And maybe see you on the call tomorrow with Randy Spelling. We'll have a great conversation. We'll offer some insights and some ideas. And also want you to know what Randy's up to. Randy's up to some really cool stuff as well. So, all right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Randy call. And go check out the Performance Lab. $17. And, I just want to say one more thing. I always have one more thing. Endings are not my strength. I know many people are like, oh my God, a Zoom thing, another Zoom call. But I invite you to possibly come to this thing and not project onto it, like, oh my God, another Zoom call. Because we're going to be doing things like you're gonna experience experiential things on this Zoom call. So it's not like you're passive and just watching TV, right? So that's it, right. You're going to get out of your chairs. We're going to do things, okay? Because the last thing you need is me to lecture you for 2 days, right? There'll be breaks, and you're going to take care of your bodies a bit along the way to increase your energy and your aliveness. But I also want you to see this is this is where the world is a lot. Like I do a lot of corporate training still, and it's now on Zoom. They're not putting people on planes and going to hotels as much, right? So there's a combo going on. Yes hotels, yes conference rooms, and and we're gonna do the follow up on a Zoom call, right? So there's this hybrid world, as you all know. So okay, hope to see you tomorrow. More to come, everybody. If you know where to find me if you have any questions. Blessings to all of you, and thank you for the good work you do in the world. It all matters. Please know it matters. Your voice matters. Your work matters. The difference you want to make in people's lives matter. And my favorite phrase that I tell my clients all the time is, if you want it, it's wanted. If you want it, it's wanted, because you're the voice of something in this space. All right, everybody, more to come. I'm going to push some buttons here to close down Ecamm and right.